back to the Simpleton Review. I am Nate Simpleton.
I'm Charlie Simpleton.
I'm Lemuel Simpleton.
And we are the simplest simple review show you will ever see. And I'm looking at the microphone, not at the camera. I don't know why. I just don't know why. Anyways, we review music and movies and anything else that tickles our fancy. And this week we are going to be talking about a band from Melbourne, Australia, entitled, I think they're from Melbourne. Yes, Melbourne, Australia, entitled Rolling Blackouts Coastal Fever. Going to be talking about their newest, I'm not sure when it came out. Did it come out fairly recently?
Came out this year.
Sweet. It is called Sideways to New Italy. So again, they are an Australian indie rock band formed in Melbourne in 2013 by the three guitarists, Fran Keeney. You can tell it's definitely a guitar band. Fran Keeney, Tom Russo, and Joe White, and they were able to sign with the famous Sub Pop record label here in the United States, and they released, through Sub Pop, they released their first album called Hope Downs in June of 2018, and then they recently released Sideways to New Italy in June of 2020, again, on the amazing, famous Sub Pop Records. Charlie, this was the band you picked. So why don't you tell me what you thought about this new album? Yeah,
I like this album. It's very dreamy.
Dreamy.
It kind of threw me back to some 60s sounds. Definitely like the British Invasion kind of meets like 90s sensibilities and playing. So yeah, I like the technical and everything like that. Nothing really major on the lyric scale. I mean, it was basically like this is my life, and it's kind of happy, kind of not.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it sounds like teenage poetry almost. I mean, it kind of reminded me of that. And I liked it. I thought it was good.
All right, right on. Lemuel, what about you?
As per usual, I don't really have a whole lot to say about this one. I enjoyed listening to it. I don't have a whole lot of nitpicky things to say against or for it. I just thought it was fun to sit down and listen to and clean.
Would it be something you listen to again?
Yeah, I'd listen to it again.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. Fair enough. So it looks like it charted on, not charted, by the way, but charted. It charted on a couple of album charts. Australia got up to number 4. Ireland, number 77. Netherlands, 66. Scotland, number 8. The UK charts, it reached number 45. The United States, no, it didn't get on the United States charts, but that's okay. We're reviewing it, so maybe we'll get some U.S. fans because of our amazing YouTube review.
Well, see, now it played on Radio Boise. It got one of the recognized, like, this is a repeat album it played.
So public radio it played on.
Public radio it played, yeah.
Yeah. It probably played, what's the one, World Cafe? Probably plays on that one. I bet you they've played it on there a few times.
Yeah.
It would be my guess. That's a good show. I don't know if you've heard World Cafe, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad show. I kind of enjoy listening to that radio show. I liked it. Like you said, it's got some 60s sensibilities to it. It really reminds me of the Yardbirds or The Who and some of those kind of bands from the 60s with more of an updated, well, not really updated, but like 90s, like maybe Jim Blossoms or somebody like that. It's got that kind of a sound with that the melodic guitars. You know, it's very, very, very guitar driven. It's a simple band. There's not a lot of major over-the-top chord structures or multi-instrumentation. It's just guitars and a drum and a bass. And it reminded me so much of listening to the pop radio stations in about 1993. Isn't it?
Oh, okay.
It was just really in that time frame. I felt
total
like
shoegaze.
Yeah,
Shoegaze Central. Yeah,
it was like Jim Blossoms and who else? I can't think of.
Yeah, like Slow Dive was on there.
And
Blind Melon. Yeah.
Yeah, those kind of bands. Back in those days, the Goo Goo Dolls, that kind of stuff, right? I mean, it just had that feel to it. It's very happy. It's happy music for the most part. Very happy sound. All major chords for the most part. Yeah, it actually kind of had a little flair of The Cure, but in major chords, not in minor chords like The Cure likes to play. But it wasn't bad. It was fine. The two things I did appreciate, both of this album and the Viagra Boys that we reviewed recently, was that I could hear the lyrics. That's been one of my biggest complaints of some of the records we've reviewed, is the lyrics have been turned, or the vocals have been turned down so low, it was hard to hear. But this album and the Viagra Boys, they had the vocals up, and I was like, thank you.
Or they're playing at a different, they don't blend. Like the problem would be is that not that you couldn't hear the vocals, it's just they blended with another sound that was at the same Like, and I don't think it was engineered well on
the
some
other
of the other
records?
albums.
Yeah, sure.
It's because, I mean, you could tell that they were singing. You could tell kind of tell the words. The only thing is that they got washed out with the other sounds. They were at the same level. It's just that when you got simultaneous sound, it tends to wash over your brain.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think you hit on it. It was at the same level. You know, I mean, you want to have the vocals higher if you're a vocal driven band. We want to know what you're singing. And if I can't understand what you're singing, and I thought originally when we listened to some of these others, I thought, well, maybe it's this stereo in my truck that sounds bad. So I started listening to my headphones. I'm like, nope, I have the same problem. Yeah, I just can't understand the lyrics very well. And that frustrates me. Maybe because I'm getting old and I can't hear the higher tones as well as somebody who's 20 or whatever. Every human being loses the ability to hear those higher tones as we get older. So maybe that was some of it. I don't know.
Well, and I think also part of it is that a lot of people are prided in the instrumentation. Mm-hmm. So they kind of use the vocal as an instrument in the mix. Yeah. So instead of like focusing on the enunciation or anything, it's more of the sound of the voice as the carry.
Gotcha.
So I don't know.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Lemuel, anything else you want to add? Is this something that's going to hit your rotation?
I don't think it's going to hit my main playlist, but I'll probably think of it from time to time and just pop it on and listen to it for a little bit.
Okay.
Just have it on in the background.
All right. That's fair. I mean, I don't think I'll probably listen to it much anymore. I mean, it's good, and I did listen to it a few times. It's not one of these albums. Like, there's been a few albums we've listened to for review, and I'd be like, I cannot wait to get through this album once. This album's like, no, it's fine. I could put it on and listen to it, a couple times or whatever. I'm not sure it's going to make it into something like I'm going to go to, but yeah, maybe it'll be in my mix of, 5,000 songs or whatever it is,
Exactly. So if a track comes up, it's not going to be like, I need to turn this off.
Right. Exactly. So, all right, let's give our scores. I'm going to go first. I don't know if I've gone first on on the score given, so I'm going to do that. I don't remember because I'm too old and I can't remember that far back. It was only 5 minutes ago. I am going to give this album, I'm going to give it, I'm going to give it a 3. It's okay, right? It's not great. Sorry, guys, don't hit me. It's not bad. It's look, it's good enough for Sub Pop to pick up, and Sub Pop has pretty good taste in the music they signed to their record label, and just because it's on Sub Pop, I think you should listen to it. If you like Sub Pop, you're gonna like this band because it fits their MO for sure. I like it. I'll give it a 3. Charlie?
I'm gonna give it 3 as well. I liked it a lot, but it's like most bands. I don't like to listen to a whole album at a time. I'm very spastic in nature, and there are very few albums that I'll listen to over and over again, like incomplete. And so this one doesn't make that cut. It is good. The sounds are good, and I would say at least 3/4 of the album will make it to playlist rotation. So it'll when the songs come on, I was like, oh yeah, I love these guys, but as soon as they're
in
gone,
moderation.
it's like I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah, in moderation, right? I love these guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right on. Lemuel Reno, what about you?
I think it's unanimous. I'm going to give it a 3 also. I enjoyed listening to it. I don't really have anything against, but just nothing stuck out to me that much.
Fair enough. Yeah, maybe they can find some different sounds. Again, I think it's like Charlie was saying, it's that every song sounds the same. There's not a lot of variety in it. They're good songs. They're not bad. It's just that number 1 sounds like number 10. And after a while, that gets a little old, especially like Charlie said, if you're listening to the whole album at the same time. It's just like, yeah, when you can't tell the difference, like what track am I on? Because I feel like I'm on the same track that we started with. And yeah, it's probably, but in a rotation, it's fine. Like you said, if it pops up every 20 or 30 songs, yeah, it's good stuff. So don't hate us. Please, Mr. Rolling Blackout City people. Coastal Fever. Yeah, Rolling Blackouts Coastal Fever. I knew I'd get it eventually. Come on now. I get it. Okay, it's time to move on to our next segment here on Simpleton Review. That is pop culture news. I am going to go first this time. There was a show that came out when I was about, I think I was probably 11 or 12 years old, maybe a little older than that. I remember when it debuted. It's kind of weird because it sticks in my mind. It debuted right after the Super Bowl on a Sunday night, and it starred this kid by the name of Fred Savage. It was called The Wonder Years, and I totally dug it. I just thought it was a great show. I guess because I always
the
had
first episode.
Yeah, well, I have this fascination and with the 60s and whatnot, just because of my mom and her growing up in the 50s and 60s, and I love the music from that era. So I liked it. And plus he was my age, right? The characters in the show were my age. So you had these junior hires going to school, trying to get through junior high life. And I could relate to him. I had a friend in college, he hated the Wonder Years. And so every time the advertisement would come on, he'd hear this, join me, Fred Savage on the Wonder Years. And this kid would go, die, Fred Savage! It was so funny. He hated it. I just like, I like it. I hate it. Okay, Garrett, you can hate it. It's fine. So anyway.
That's okay. He was still the same one that would watch Little House on the Prairie.
This is true. This is true. Sitting there with his camouflage hat and his smiley face pin on it. All right.
The fork sticking out.
So the reason why I bring up the Wonder Years is it is going to be picked up for a reboot for ABC, which was the channel that it was on to begin with. But instead of using a white family, it is actually going to use a black middle-class family in Montgomery, Alabama, in the turbulent late 60s, the same era as the original series. But it's going to be how they made sure that it was the Wonder Years for them too. It has potential. It could be interesting to see how they pull that off.
Actually does sound pretty good.
Right.
I mean, as soon as you mentioned reboot, I'm like, oh no, a cash grab. But no, that sounds like something I would watch.
It could be interesting, especially if it's a middle class black family in Montgomery, Alabama in the late 60s.
Oh my gosh, that was like a hotspot for just trouble.
Right. And so how are they going to make it the Wonder Years for them too? So that could be interesting. I'm excited to see exactly what they do with that, and I'll probably watch it, at least a couple of episodes to see if it's worth it. So yeah, Charlie, let's go with you.
Oh, okay. My news is has to do with technology.
But I still love technology.
Yeah. Technologies. You need to go out and get you some. So Kroger is a big grocery store conglomerate, and they run the Fred Meyers in town here. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that they've got control of the Fred Meyers over in Idaho Falls as well.
Yeah. And Kroger's the second largest grocery outlet in the entire country.
Yeah.
They're big.
And they have bought other groups.
Yep.
Well, they've started working with a firm called Caper, and they are putting in intelligent shopping carts. So they've developed intelligent shopping carts that will I think they're vision-enabled shopping carts, and I think they're supposed to be self-guided, kind of thing, because it's supposed to be in COVID time, to where it's supposed to you're not supposed to touch as many things, so it's going to tell you all the information about the product that you're looking for. You're supposed to be able to speech enable, talk to it, and tell it what you want. And then if you mention cereal, then it's going to suggest milk. If you mention pasta, it's going to mention pasta sauces and probably try and sell you on it. But these units cost about $5,000 to $10,000 a piece.
Oh my gosh!
And as opposed to the current models that are $100, but I wonder if they're still going to have that one wheel that kind of flaps.
Right? Yeah, I was wondering that too. Or you're going down the aisle and it swerves to the right or swerves to the left.
Yeah. So, but I thought that was a pretty interesting step to take, and I don't see how that's going to ever take off. Well, but I guess they're trying to release them over in Cincinnati and giving them a pilot. So we'll see.
It could be interesting. I mean, I bet you it's probably going to have little sensors in the aisles that when your cart goes through the aisle, it flips a switch, and your little video screen or whatever that's probably going to be on the cart will start talking to you and saying, hey, we've reached this section. There's a great deal over there on capers on aisle 3, or whatever. It could be interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, well, do you remember? I mean, look, this is how old Charlie and I are, Lemuel. I can remember it. I'm sure Charlie can too. When they installed automatic doors in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Wait,
they were not a thing when we were kids.
Automatic doors?
No, you had to open the doors up. Yeah, the
Yeah,
sliding
that's
doors.
crazy.
That was something that came out when we were probably maybe 9, 10, 11 years old. We weren't very young. It was kind of a mid 80s thing. And then the scanner things. Yeah, those
didn't come in until like the late 80s.
Yeah, probably late 80s. I mean,
so we were probably in like junior high.
Yeah, junior high school when the scanner machines came out. So, yeah.
Yeah, because they had to key everything.
Yep. By hand.
And
yeah. So a lot of these inventions that you think have been there have not actually been there that long. They're actually fairly new inventions. So anyway.
Can't even imagine. I can hardly imagine not having a self-checkout aisle these days.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, right?
Self-checkouts, those are only like maybe 20 years old.
And that's if they're that old. I don't even think they're that old. I think maybe.
Yeah, not in every store, I mean, they really push them. But as far as the advancedness of them all, they're really, really new inventions. So let's get off the grocery store subject, shall we?
Next up news.
Yeah,
what's up?
Something way more interesting.
Yeah,
video games? Actually, yes. Monster Hunter Rise is coming out in April for the Nintendo Switch, and I'm super excited for it. I'll probably get it as soon as I can. Just play that on stream for that month, but I'm super excited. I'm a little disappointed that they didn't decide to go with releasing it on PS4 and Xbox like they did with the last installment, but it looks like it'll be fun. The art style looks really good. They changed the art style a lot, so it looks a lot of fun.
It's going to be as good as the movie. Did that movie bomb?
Well, I don't know if it bombed, but I do know when it dropped in China, all the people who saw it hated it so much that they went to the Monster Hunter World game, which came out like 3 years ago, and on Steam, and they gave it bad reviews because of the movie.
That's funny. You know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for Godzilla versus Kong. I'm telling you, that is going to be.
When's that coming?
Like this week or next week? It's coming out really, really soon.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
and it's like,
that's going to be such a total mind-numbing movie. It's just going to be so testosterone-ridden and like, oh my god, two monsters beating each other up the entire movie. I can't think of any. I guess Billy Bobby Brown is in it, or Millie Bobby Brown, whatever her name is. I just like, I can't. I mean, that just sounds like so much fun, right? Two giant monsters beating each other up. I can't wait.
I mean, that's like when Cowboys versus Aliens came out.
I love that movie. I really do. I know people don't like it, but I really like that movie. I was going to talk about GameStop, but everybody and their dog has talked about GameStop here recently in a week or so. I think it's fascinating. I think it's entertaining. Go GameStop. More power to you, buddy. But
go Reddit, I guess.
Yeah. What? You haven't heard about the GameStop thing?
Go Reddit, I guess.
Yeah. Reddit was wasn't that the follow-up?
No, Reddit was the reason it happened.
Yeah.
Reddit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, we're not going to talk about it here. If you guys haven't heard about the GameStop story, which you're probably living under a rock if you haven't. But
everywhere.
Go look it up. GameStop and Reddit and hedge funds and billions of dollars being lost by the hedge funds, and they're mad, and it's just hilarious. And it's about the only thing. The weird part is it's the only thing in this country that seems to have managed to unite the right and the left. They're both like, go GameStop. It's really funny.
Did you hear what Robinhood did, though, after all this craziness?
Well,
they got into some sketchy stuff. Yeah, you couldn't buy it anymore. They made it really hard to sell and stuff.
Well, and then they ended up suspending like 60 other stocks, including Doge, which is like a gamer coin.
Dogecoin. So dumb.
I don't know. Everybody liked Robinhood because they were like the millennial trading place, and now everybody. We're not a financial video show, so we're going to stop talking about Robinhood as well. I want to tell you all that you need to go listen to the Coastal Boys. Rolling Blackouts Coastal Fever. Because they're not bad, okay? Look, we're giving you our idea of what it is. You go make your own decision. We don't want to keep them from selling albums because we think every band deserves to sell a few records here and there. Definitely. And t-shirts and stuff. So go buy the t-shirts too. Buy ours! Buy our t-shirts! SimpletonReview.com. Oh, look at that. See, he's bought it. He's bought it. That's right. Go buy some t-shirts from us. We're going to have some new designs up here very shortly. Thanks to Charlie. He's got some really cool designs that he's drawn, and we're going to put those up at SimpletonReview.com, and that'll take you straight to our apparel store. You can buy masks, you can buy t-shirts, you can buy coffee cups, stickers, all kinds of stuff with our logos and Charlie's awesome original artwork on it. Remember to like and subscribe. Tell all your friends about the 2 old nerds and the young nerd person who always talks about video games. We love him. We love him, Gary.
I've been watching Malcolm in the Middle all month. I don't know what else.
I'm Nate Simpleton.
I'm Charlie Simpleton.
I'm Lemuel Simpleton.
Way to pause there, Lem. All right, guys, we'll talk to you next time on the Simpleton Review. Adios.